Hey, I hope you've enjoyed the snow this week. I've enjoyed it for a couple days, but I think I'm ready for it to be gone. Today, a couple of scriptures came to mind, and one's in Matthew 28, the other's in Mark 16. And it's really the account of Jesus after he's crucified. He's been risen from the dead after 3 days. And Jesus appears before the disciples. And here's the gist of what he says. He says in these scriptures, "Go into the world and preach the good news to all people." It's really a commandment for the disciples, but it's really also a commandment for all believers. You see, that's why missions at Gold Creek are so important to us. We do our local missions, we have our food bank, and we have the tailgate ministry and those kind of ministries, but we also are ministering across the world. We have missions in Mexico, we have missions now in San Salvador, El Salvador, and God is doing some amazing things. But I remember when I was a little boy reading these accounts of Jesus saying, "Go into the world and preach the gospel." And I remember thinking, how can this little kid in California living on a vineyard ever make a difference in the world? How could that be possible? But now all these years later, I've had the opportunity to go and minister in Peru and to share my heart out on the streets with people and see people's lives changed. I got to travel to Mexico and meet Pastor Luis, and eventually we put him on staff, and he's doing amazing work there with 11 churches now. We're taking trips there all the time. And one thing that's always been so important for my wife and I is that we take our kids with us when we go. And it's really for two reasons. Number one, we want our kids to have perspective of how fortunate we are here in this country and how much we have, the abundance of what we have. But secondly, just like that little kid that grew up in California, I want my kids to know how important it is for them to make a difference in the world. And the greatest prayer that I have is that my kids will have that same desire to reach people across the world. And I would encourage you, if maybe you have always wanted to go on a mission trip and haven't, I want to encourage you to go on one of our trips, maybe the Vacation with a Purpose. Invite your kids to come with you and make a difference in the world. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share today, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.